Welcome to this new tutorial. So in the last one, we learned how to have a bit more control over the damage that we do and the amount, how to set them and all that. In this tutorial, we're going to work a little bit more on this and make this even more versatile. And we are going to start using our attributes for this. So the first thing I want to do is to go to the C++, and I'm going to go to my let's go to my tags. Actually, I did create these tags, but I won't need them. I'm gonna delete these tags and instead make a new one. Gameplay tag. I'm gonna call it damage. Just gonna delete all of these. Make a new gameplay tag. Damage. So since I've deleted these tags, I need to go to my actor, collision actor, and go down here and change the tag here to use damage instead. Alright, this is a bit more generic now. It's gonna make sense in a bit. So everything else we can pretty much leave as is. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, let's close this. Next I want to go to my attributes. Let's go to attributes. And I'm gonna make let's say 2 new attributes. There we go. And don't forget to add them to the list of variable to replicate. Just copy this one here and change it to PhysicalAttack. And same here, change it to PhysicalResistance. Here we go. I got 2 new attributes to work with, and I'm gonna compile this. Now that we are in here, let's make sure that we set a value for our new attributes. So I'm gonna go to my gameplay effect, attribute here, default attribute, and I'm gonna add 2 new ones. And here we're gonna modify the physical attack. Let's do an override. And let's set this to, I don't know, 10, or let's do 20. And the defense here, same thing, override. Let's say 10. Now, one thing is that we are hard coding these values here, but you can also have custom calculations. You set your physical attack or whatever attributes that you have, your energy, your max health. For example, you could make it so that your max health changes depending on the level of your character and all that. And we will get to that at some point. Yeah, but for now, let's focus on this one. Okay, so now we have physical attack and physical resistance. Let's make sure that they are working. So I'm gonna check the log for any bugs. Let's have a look. And yep, correct. Alright, so now that we have this set, let's make a new class. From here, I'm gonna make a new class, and it's going to be a gameplay effect execution. This one, execution calculation. Yes, that's the one that we need. Alright. So I'm gonna rename this TP. Well, the name is too long. Just execution calculation is fine. And I'm gonna put this in my attribute set folder. Is that correct? Is that how I named the folder? Yeah, attribute set. Yep. Alright, that's gonna be in the attribute set. So let's create that class. Alright, now it's done compiling. Okay. Let's make a constructor for it. Constructor, and we need to override a class, a function in this class called execute implementation. Alright, and that's all we need. Let's make a definition for both of them. Cool. Now this is gonna be our custom calculation class. In here we will be, I'm just gonna delete the super. In here we'll be able to do any kind of complex calculation that we want when it comes to the damage. But we need to get access to our attribute first. So I did create physical attack and physical resistance, right? So I want to have access to these attributes in this class, so I can use them for my damage calculation. So I can use for example, the physical attack to set the damage amount, and then subtract the physical defense to it or something. So how do we get access to our attributes? Well, first thing first, let's include the attribute. Include attribute set, yes. And the second thing that we're gonna do is include the tags. I know we're gonna need them, I think. Alright. So I need to first create a struct. It's gonna be an FTP damage static, because we need to capture all the attributes. And to do that, we use declare attribute capture definition. We want to capture physical attack, and the other one is gonna be declare attribute capture def, which is physical resistance is the other one that I want. Physical resistance. Cool. Now I'm gonna make an FTP damage static, and in there we can do define attribute capture def. Now we can specify where we want to capture it from. So I want to capture this from the attribute set. I want to get the physical attack, not def, no, just physical attack. Oh, come on. I want to get the physical attack. I want to get it from the source, which is my character. So I want the physical attack that is on my character, and I'm gonna set this to, and this last option is a bool that allows you to do snapshot. So you can snapshot the physical attack as soon as this calculation starts. or you can wait. You can do false, which is not snapshot, so the damage, the physical attack might change during your attack animation or whatever you have on your character. You have some kind of buffs or debuff that is being applied, so it's gonna capture the physical attack at the end. I'm just gonna leave this to true, and then here another define attribute capture def. We're using the attribute set, physical resistance, but not definition. And we want, this time we don't want it from the source. We don't want our physical resistance. We want the physical resistance of the enemy that we are hitting, right? So instead of source, we're gonna use target here. And you can do the same thing, true or false. That up to you what you want to put here. But yeah, so the physical resistance we get from the target, and the physical attack we get from ourselves. Cool. And now to be able to use this struct, let's make a static const TP damage static static FTP damage static. Let's call it statics. Return statics. Alright, what this is doing is just giving us making an instance of this struct here, so that we can access all these attributes from it. Yeah, that's just like how you call that, boilerplate stuff. So now that this is set up, this is pretty easy to add any attribute that you want to capture. You'll have to do these steps, which is fairly easy, to be honest. That's how you capture your attributes. Anyway, now that we have the attributes in the constructor, statics equals, let's get it to damage static, and then we do relevant. Is that right? Relevant. Here we go. Relevant attribute to capture. Add from the static. Statics. Nope. What did I call it? I call it static. Call it statics. Makes more sense. Physical attack definition. Same thing. Relevant attribute to capture. Add statics dot resistance. All right. Now we have our attributes. Cool. Now we need to access this thing from here. Const auto statics equals damage statics. What's next? I forgot how to do this. I think let's create a float. Let's do source physical attack equals 0.f. And to get the, we need an execute params attempt capture. Which one is it? Attribute magnitude. This one, I think, right? Yeah, it's this one. So attempt calculate captured attribute magnitude. Now this requires a attribute, so statics dot physical attack. It needs it's in an F aggregator evaluate parameter, so we need to create one of these. Yeah, remember now. So F aggregator thingy with evaluated params. I'm gonna call it params. Now we need to set a few things on it. Params source tags equals execution params that get owning specs capture source tags get tags. Do the same thing for the target. Get owning specs capture from target this time. Get all the tags. Const f gameplay effect. Spec equals execution params that get owning spec. Alright. Anyway, let's pass in the params here. And our source physical attack. Alright, now we can do source physical attack. I'm going to clamp it. So fmath max let's do float source physical attack and 0.f. That should clamp it and prevent it from going below 0. So now our source physical attack cannot go below 0. Whew. Let's do the same for the other one. So target physical the resistance, I think I call it, right? Resistance. Now we need the exact same thing, so I'm just gonna copy this actually. It's a lot to type, so physical resistance here. Same thing here, change that to target resistance, change that here, change that here. Alright. And now, let's do out execute. That's how we output the damage. Out F gameplay modify. This one. UTP attribute set. Get incoming damage. Gameplay. Mod ops. Here. I'm gonna use additive and we're gonna pass in. So I'm gonna make a float called damage. The damage equals 0.f. I'm gonna pass in damage. Alright, so this is what's gonna return the damage, and it's gonna add it to our incoming damage attribute and add this value to it. So now we can do whatever calculation that we want using all the attributes. So if you have more attributes to capture, you can do that here and then use all your attributes to affect your final damage. Like for example, let's see, for here I'm gonna do, let's call float, I'm gonna call it effective damage equals let's just say the source physical attack minus the target physical resistance. I mean, you can make this as complex as you want. I'm just not gonna bother here. But yeah. So all I'm doing is just taking the attack minus the resistance. And actually, you know what? Let's do something else. Let's do where's that thing? Let me do float ability damage. Remember we had set we were able to set some damage number also in the what was it called, the collision data. So let's get that, let's get access to that. So we just need to do expected get what is it, expected get SetByCaller FTP gameplay get, I think I called it damage, right? Yes. Yeah, that's the one. So what I'm talking about here is this. Where is it? Where did that go? Here. Yeah, this damage number that we set on the collision actor. This damage using this tag, that's what we are using there. So I want to get that damage number, so that's our ability damage. And I'm gonna do the source physical attack, our physical attack. I'm gonna add our ability damage to it. And then I'm gonna take all of that and subtract the target physical defense. And that's gonna be my calculation. And then I'm gonna say that damage is equal to effective damage, okay? And we're passing damage here. So yeah, again, you can make this as complex as you want. But I think I'm satisfied with this. So currently, I believe the physical attack I set to 20, right? And the physical defense is 10 or something, right? Let's compile and see this in action. Alright, now that it's compiled, let me make sure something. Damage here, SetByCaller, yeah, I need to change that to just use the damage. Here is where we can set our custom calculation. So now it's using our calculation. And wait, actually, do I need this here? I don't remember if I need this one. We'll see. Anyway, let's go to the ability and let's do tackle, for example. So tackle, right? Let's do what? Let's do 10 damage. So what's that gonna be? So according to this, our physical attack is 20, which is gonna be added to the ability damage, which is 10. So that's 30. And then we have minus our resistance, which is 10. So the result should be 20 damage. Let's see if that's correct or not. So if I hit, beam, I'm doing 30 damage. Well, that's definitely not correct. Let's see. What is it set to? Yes, that's correct. So why is it doing 30 damage? Test out something here. here we go. I knew it. Okay. So you do not want to use this SetCaller again. Yeah, I figured. Yeah. Because I'm using it here. So this line, this when I'm doing the SetCaller is doing the same thing as this. So basically what was happening is that I was getting the damage which I set to, what was it, 10? Yeah. So I was getting the damage here, the 10 damage. And then on top of, and I was adding it, so I was having the 20 plus the 10, which was 30. And then minus the other 10, which is 20. And then this SetCaller by magnitude was also adding another 10 on top of it. So we don't need this, so we can just remove that thing here. And now if I hit, beam, we do 20 damage. Now let's confirm if that's right or not. So if I change this to, let's say 20, right? So now the calculation should be 20 physical attack plus 20 of the ability damage, which is 40, minus the 10 here, which should be 30. Let's see if we do 30 damage. Indeed. And another thing that we could do to test if it's actually working or not is to go to this here and change the attribute. Let's change our resistance, for example, and do let's do 20 instead. Beam. Now we only do 20. If I change this to 30, now we should only do 10 damage. Indeed. And well, if I do this, does this go to the negative? It shouldn't, right? Let's be sure. Yeah, it doesn't do anything. Yeah, no damage. Okay, cool. It works. Perfect. So let's put this back to 10. Alright, and that's pretty much it. I have a Patreon, link is in the description, you can have a look at it. I have the next tutorial uploaded there already, and some exclusive tutorials plus a plugin that you can have access to. And yeah, that's it for today. See you in the next one.